Hey everyone, it's Nicole. Welcome to my channel, or welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, don't forget to subscribe. I like to post about books and music, mostly Taylor Swift. This is their little collaboration that she did with Ed Sheeran. Today I'm going to be reacting to Ed Sheeran's newest album. This was kind of a spur of the moment decision. I didn't have this planned out to react to this on release night, but I've been seeing a lot of talk about this online, and people are saying this is his best album ever, particularly because I believe he's working with Aaron Dessner on this. So anything with Aaron Dessner on it, I am all over. I actually have not really listened to an Ed Sheeran album in full since 2017. I believe it was called Divide. I remember specifically it was like the end of my senior year of high school, and I just really enjoyed a lot of the stuff on that album. The last Ed Sheeran song I heard was The Joker and the Queen, which didn't impress me too much. I only really listened because Taylor was on it. I remember liking a couple of his songs. I think it was the summer of 2019. Beautiful People was fine. I mean, it was on the radio a ton. Bad Habits was fun. I think Taylor promoted that, and then I was like, oh, I'll check this out. Like, he was like a sparkly vampire type thing in the music video. But yeah, I'm very excited to give this a listen. There are 23 tracks on this album, so without further ado, I'm just gonna get straight into it. Disclaimer, I will be reacting to these while using my headphones so I don't get blocked for copyright, and just giving my first reaction and review. Let's see if this album is worth the hype that I've been seeing about it online. I can't really say if it's his best album because I obviously haven't listened to all of his albums, but I will be kind of maybe comparing it a little bit to Divide, which I really enjoyed, and just seeing if it is something that I like more than a lot of other music. And I will have timestamps down below for those of you who would like to skip around. Okay, so not only do we have Aaron Dessner as a producer, but we have Max Martin and Shellback. So those are the two producers I associate with 1989 and some of Red, I think. And then Aaron Dessner is very like folklore, Evermore, Midnight's 3 a.m. tracks. Oh, so they're only on one track, never mind. Max Martin and Shellback are only on one song. I was thinking we're about to sonically get something that's a cross between folklore and 1989. So far, this is very classic Ed Sheeran, it seems, like acoustic guitar, there's some violins coming in, and the chorus is really melodically nice as far as his voice goes. We've got a 3/4 like waltzy time signature. It's very catchy. Okay, are drums gonna come in after the first chorus? The waves won't break my boat. Drums? No. I feel like this is going to be one of those Ed Sheeran songs that has a really nice build. He can do a lot of cool stuff with dynamics. I love his song Give Me Love for that reason. Oh, that's a nice metaphor. The waves won't break my boats. Hopeful, uplifting start to this album. I keep my eyes peeled. I don't know why I was expecting him to say either closed or open, but I like that he said peeled because I feel like that's not done in a lot of lyrics. Obviously, keeping your eyes peeled, it's not that uncommon of a phrase, but it just is a little unexpected. I like when artists don't go for like the first idea that they have lyrically. I think there's a cello, even though there aren't any drums yet. We're on to the second chorus, and now he's layering some harmonies in there, so it's like building. Cello came in at some point during the second verse. I could find myself listening to this again. Okay, now we're doing a breakdown chorus. It's like all quiet. Or maybe that's the bridge. Yep, here we go. The violins are, he's getting really quiet, and there's over 30 seconds left of the song. This can't be the end. God, it's quiet again. The more that I love, the less that I feel. Okay, so there wasn't this like big powerful moment at any point. Ooh, it felt like it could have done that so well though. Still a really good song. I will be listening to this again, but I was just waiting for that really powerful waves won't break my boat like thing he sometimes does. I am loving all these oceanic titles. I love the song Tenerife Sea by him. I love a good acoustic beachside moment from Ed Sheeran. He's talking about wind again, clouds, really natural imagery. I'm hearing the Aaron Dessner in the piano and then the weird percussion that's kind of electronic in a way. It's like a da 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 in the background. Ooh, the chorus, the layered harmonies. It's very clean by Taylor Swift. Oh, I love the outro, the cool acoustic guitar. I definitely liked the first song a little bit more. This one felt a little long to me and not as much of a build in any way. The chorus is very like droney. It's relaxing. It's really good vibe music. So the stuff with Shellback and Martin is probably the hit of the album, like the radio-friendly thing I'm predicting. Let's find out. I like this guitar. Yeah, I have a feeling. I've been inside for most this year. Pandemic musings. This melody's really catchy. Oh, it's so like longing. Oh shit, it's like sad. It's gonna slap, isn't it? Dancing with my eyes closed. Oh no, it didn't hit as hard as I thought it would be. It's groovy though. Yeah, the little eyes closed. I like how his vocals are so dry. I think there's a vocoder in there too. Okay, the second chorus hits a little harder. And maybe I was just expecting it this time. There's violins just steady, like droning in the back. Some of the visuals in the lyric videos look like they were inspired by the scary stories to tell in the dark illustrations. Like the one for Life Goes On looks kind of like it's supposed to be some kind of plant with a clump of soil at the bottom and then some roots, like life, you know? But it's giving spooky, definitely. The waves came tumbling down, more ocean references. Is this like a full grief album? It feels like one. Is that why it's called Subtract? Because you're like missing something from yourself? Is he okay? Has anybody checked on him? Uplifting, sad, griefy, very acoustic, very like old Ed Sheeran, like pre-2017 Ed Sheeran. But to be fair, I have not listened to anything he's put out since 2017. I don't even know how many albums he's put out since then. This is gonna be about like dusty memories, cleaning off things, right? Like, I feel like it might be about inheritances. Oh, this is so national inspired. Aaron Dessner's little strange sounds. Day is breaking into powder blue. That's pretty. More like really natural, I guess, like symbols of life found in nature, like the sunrise, rebirth. Oh, this is cute. It's about like music. Oh, I get it. Drop the needle like a vinyl. Low tide, more ocean. This is cool. This has some of the best lyrics, I think, because it's like the most unique kind of lines. Stormy ocean. Oh my gosh. Someone needs to count up the ocean references in this. Ooh, plucked violins. What a strange bridge. That's Aaron. That's got Aaron all over it. It's sonically the weirdest and maybe even my least favorite as far as instrumentation goes. It's just odd and it kind of drones a lot. It is Aaron being like experimental for sure. The lyrics are really cool. These might be my favorite lyrics. Oh no, how a loss makes you have to grow up faster. I've been depressed. He's going so fast, I can't even process the lyrics. I feel like they're pretty good. When I'm down, I never see you. When I'm up, you all appear. Fair weather friends. It's a bummer. It's a bummer like a lot of these. Acoustically pretty. Oh, this is so pretty. It sounds like a lullaby. It's so sweet and romantic. Oh, what a nice hook. Maybe we'll just paint the night colorblind because all he can see is her eyes. Oh, it feels like a lullaby. I think it's in 6/8. It doesn't quite feel like 3/4. It feels like 6/8. A cute one. Everything has been so relaxing so far. Ooh, this one's kind of rocky. Electric guitar for I think the first time on this record. It's like edgy. I can't be seen and you won't find me today. Oh wow, the chorus. Pull the curtains, let me see the sunshine. Killer harmonies again. Ooh, the shine harmonies. Ooh, we've got some distorted effects on an electric guitar solo before the second verse. I like the change of pace. I have to say there are a lot of very cliche symbols going on to like make his points. Dark, cold, mountain, being difficult to climb. Even though it's like in theme with all his nature references on this album, I feel like there are songs from before that he used those nature references, but in a more unique way. I love the chorus though, just because it's fun. I like the melody. Piano. Sadness always finds an in. More grief and sadness infecting everything. That's kind of cool. I'm more interested in the piano. It's so cool. Momentous sequel. Okay, he's redeeming himself. The blackbirds, they fly like a frown on the skyline. That's pretty. What a falsetto. Wow, he has a range on him. Very folklore. It's another, I think like a similar percussion to what he used on Peace by Taylor. He has such a distinct sound, Aaron. I'm glad there's harmonies on the second chorus. I lost my train of thought completely. I have no idea what I was just talking about because I just got a text from my mom that was about something Zelensky said. We're Ukrainian. That is quite good. Oh, I was talking about the harmonies. I'm glad he started doing some builded harmonies, layering that falsetto in the chorus, because I feel like if he did that same falsetto thing 3 times for each chorus, it would be a little bit much. Like, it's not that he sounds bad, it's just, it's very high. It's a little overstimulating. It's impressive though. I feel like some people might find this tone a little bit annoying though. He's got like a rasp to it as well. He's doing something different. I don't think I've ever heard falsetto quite like this. I think the issue sometimes is like the way he says waiting on the borderline. He like, waiting, like he really just shoots into it. And then it gets like a lot more mellow on the borderline, and it's still high, but it's like more pleasant to listen to. Yeah, when he puts like some breath in it, it's prettier. Ooh, I love these drums. When he says pour another drink and try to drown the pain with salt along the rim. I love a good margarita with salt around the rim. Lime salt? Chef's kiss. Tears never arrive, these ducts are dry. It's interesting, but I feel like if he thought about it a little more, he could make it even more interesting, because Ed Sheeran's lyrics, like, I can tell when he really puts thought into them, he does some crazy cool stuff. It feels a little first drafty for him. Sometimes some artists, this will be like their final draft. This is like as interesting as they can make it, but to me this feels like, Ed, I know you've got a little bit more in you. Pretty again. Very Aaron Dessner-y. I hope this one's a little groovy. I need something. Change the pace up. Cool piano again. We couldn't stop the fates descending on the night. That's cool. Build a fire and torch our old lives and hope the spark survives. It's kind of generic, but there's something interesting about the choice of words, at least. Let the memories take flight. It's a lot of like pretty language. Oh, there's a violin thing going on over here that reminds me of some of the violins in Marjorie by Taylor. Hand trying to hold the water back. Ocean leaking in the cracks. He's consistent. Oh, the piano at the end is so pretty, and it's got that Marjorie violin again. So I think this one is about kind of like trying to fix a relationship that you feel is not working, but like hoping you can make it work. So we've got different things interspersed in this grief theme. Actually, I think honestly this could work as a grief song. Like you're grieving what the relationship once was and understanding even if you are able to go from there, it's going to be a rebirth of sorts, because things are never able to stay the same completely. This title just reminds me of when I first went vegan and my dad was like, he didn't understand how to pronounce it. He kept calling it vegan. Like what is it, a Chevy Vega? Rain keeps beating on the rooftop, muddying the glass, but God, I love the sound. This is cool, and I like the consistent nature references again. Sat cross-legged on the carpet listening to vinyl. So it's again a reference to like the Dusty song with Put the Needle on Dusty. Like listening to music as a coping mechanism. We're starting off with some strong visuals on this one. Fighting the tide, but the waves they will part. Ocean again. I feel like he said night so many times also. Just a lot of nature visuals. And he's doing that falsetto thing in the chorus again. Made to be stars. Wait, why does this remind me? Didn't he do a song for Fault in Our Stars? It reminds me of that one. I forgot what it's called and I forgot how it even goes. But Clouds and Sun. What the hell does to be Vega mean? When I Google it, it changes it to be vegan. Oh, it's a star. Okay. The brightest star in the constellation Lyra. I get it now, especially in the outro. We are meant to shine like stars, but that don't mean it don't burn like hell to be Vega. To be, yeah, the brightest star in that constellation. This reminds me of something he's done before. All of the stars. Okay, yeah, that makes sense then. It's very classic Ed. Sycamore in the summer, bearing leaves. So much nature. Swing, you're pushing our daughter underneath. Pretty visuals. Does he have a child? He does have children. Their names are Jupiter and Lyra. Space-themed names. That is so Ed Sheeran. I also think that means a lot when because he just sang about Lyra, the constellation, in the last song. I feel like there's layers to that because of his children being named those things. Has he ever sang about Jupiter? What's he gonna say after I think you better sit? Brace yourself, something's about to hit. That reminds me of the Glass Animals song. It's also incredibly loud, where basically he sings about how a scenario where you're about to tell someone something that's going to change everything, or something they'll never forgive you for, or just, you know, brace yourself, it's going to hit, you better sit, that sort of thing. I don't think I absorbed the full message of this song in its entirety, but definitely that bridge hints to more grief, and we have these consistent nature references, but also I think him naming it Sycamore and like talking about all these instances of nature where life is still going on despite horrible things happening. There's definitely a hopeful note to this record. Oh, the visual here is a guitar, so no strings. I was at first thinking no strings attached, but like I think it's maybe like a guitar with no strings, like feeling useless. If we make it through this year, then nothing can break us. I swore I would always be yours, because we survived the Great War by Taylor. There's no strings or who I love, so it's like no strings, like no exceptions. Like this is an unconditional love. It won't change when we're falling apart. Aw, it's like a commitment song, which is interesting, because normally you hear no strings, you think no strings attached, no commitments, but he like changes that. Hell yeah, tambourine, real drums. So this is the final song on the standard edition. I feel like it's named after someplace in England, right? He's talking about leaves immediately. I feel like that's what happened in Sycamore. Immediate leaves. Not just any leaves, but immediate ones. Snow. He's talked about snow already, hasn't he? The water's frozen. This feels inspired by Irish folk. Maybe it's somewhere in Ireland. Something to me about Ed with a 6/8 time signature or 3/4 is just like perfect. Ooh, it's so Irishy. Yes. I was wanting him to do something like this, but I didn't realize it until he did it. This is what I was kind of expecting. Because Aaron Dessner does like folk stuff so well, and Ed can bring that like Irish influence. I love the instrumental. Ooh, so Aberfeldy's in Scotland. Is this actually a Scottish influence and I'm just completely ignorant? Another stranger to share in the weight of my crimes. All right, getaway car era. You will never find another heart that wants you more than mine. That's so cute. Are you kidding? This is a really cool closer. Yeah, this album is like, it's not that it's heavy or hard to listen to in its content about grief. It feels like a hug. It feels very supportive. It feels like it's meant for someone who is going through this to hopefully feel better at the end instead of like wallowing in these feelings. He talks about ivy and daisies, like Taylor Swift's Don't Blame Me. Daggers wide, they cut through skin, a new addition to your grin, like the Joker. This was fine. It's all kind of starting to sound the same at this point, so I see why he stopped at the original 14 tracks. Like, I think that was a very good length. It's very on theme, though. Like, it's really consistent with the rest of the album. It's not like with Midnights, for example, where Taylor did, like, completely different things for the 3 a.m. edition. His voice sounds so warm in this one. I love the energy behind this one, especially in the chorus. Take a day, imagine it, make paper planes and fly. Even the concept of balance is like a natural thing because of gravity, I guess. Okay, the intro confuses me because what the hell does it mean for a window to be dying? Windows dying? Is it like, he's talking about dawn, see what the dawn brings, like don't jump to conclusions, like let's see how this pans out before getting upset. Does windows dying mean like it's dusk right now? Like they have to wait for the night to pass? Like how the window will get like darker and darker? I wasn't looking for a hideaway, I need the heat of 1,000 bodies. He likes performing too. Like, Taylor's written about her fans before. I'm drowning under the waves. Oh my gosh, all my friends have settled and grown and then there's me here dancing alone. They're sleeping and I'm stoned. Oh my gosh. I like this one quite a bit. I feel like I could have gone on the standard edition. It feels like Castle on the Hill a little bit, like a sequel to that. Really cool instrumental at the end of the second chorus. So he doesn't have a bridge, he just has that really tense instrumental part. Am I breathing into my detriment? I'll keep bleeding and I'll be stoned. Is he doing this double meaning to stoned where it's like being high, but also the idea of being stoned as a punishment? If he is, I like it. That's clever. If he isn't, I mean, I'm always reading too into things, so are you surprised? So I can't find fear for some reason. We can go through the lyrics. Okay, so I think it's about like giving someone grace for doing something wrong. Fear is a joy killer, so fuck what they say. Is this the first time he's cursing on this album? He says, don't let it get to you, babe, so I'm wondering if this is directed towards his wife. It seems like this is someone he really admires. The post-chorus is literally just woo woo, so fuck what they say. No winner lost spirit from words on our page. Pretty language, but I'm not quite sure what it means. Or what the purpose of that is. I wish I could listen to it, but for some reason, it's not online. Okay, I can't find Get Over It either, so let's look through the lyrics, because they're online for some reason. Started off with one kiss, standing in a red dress, silhouette, the sunset ripple in the breeze, more nature and wind references. This reminds me of Me Before You, when she's in the red dress and she takes him to the symphony. He did not write a song for that movie, though. Wait, yes he did, didn't he? Is that why I'm associating him with this? I also wrote a song about that book though, and that was in 2017 when I read it, and I think I was also heavily listening to Divide, so that song reminds me a little bit of Ed Sheeran. It's very like guitar acoustic, and I talk about nature a lot. Yeah, he's had an influence on me too with my own writing. Okay, so this is like rejection, where someone's saying we're better off as friends. Lovers to strangers, watch how it changes. It's such a shame to end like this. He doesn't believe they're gonna actually be friends. Is this the first breakup song? He talks about the color red again. Should have given more attention into the little red lights. Aw, you never gave a warning sign. I gave so many signs, little red lights. I no longer know you. I used to love the old you, but I guess I should have told you way before tonight. Oh, that's devastating. I wish I could listen to it. One day there will be someone else in your life, and I know my love, it can't be helped tonight. I knew you better than I know myself, but it's time to get over it. What does this remind me of? I think it's a song called Happier. Yeah, that's what this reminds me of, like his realization that they're going to find someone else. And there was a music video, I believe. I wish I could listen to this. I bet it's a waltz. I bet it's in 6/8 or 3/4, and I bet it's heartbreaking. Oh, so this is a very, very specific song about, I believe I read his wife got a tumor when she was last pregnant. I don't know what to think. The workout through the day, the doctor said it's cancer and a baby is on the way. They say radio's the answer and that both lives can be saved. Jesus. God, my favorite thing about myself is that I'm not pregnant. The way he says cancer with his British accent. This chorus slaps. You are the toughest in the room. I can't help but think of this one song. I forgot who it's by, but it's like you're the most beautiful girl in the whole wide room. For him to say you're the toughest in the room, like just in the room, but I think he's not meaning like just within these few people that we're comparing. It's like she's always the one to support the other people in the room. You'll overcome the pain that grows in you, like a literal metaphor for cancer. This is what I wanted the entire time. Like, it was an album very vaguely about grief, but you couldn't really tell what inspired him. This is it though. This should have been on the standard edition. God, that last note breakdown. Look at his little work, I gotta admit. I'm glad he called it toughest and not breakdown though. For example, the one song, Get Over It, that came right before this one. Really good lyrics and concept, but like Get Over It is such a generic title. And for that to be followed with breakdown, I'd have been like, what are you doing? But toughest is more interesting. He's in his Speak Now era. Okay, this one's not online either, but the lyrics are 1, 2, 1, 2. Good news, in a month we'll know more. The due date's the same and the MRI can wait. This is like what I just listened to. So honestly, depending on how this one sounds, maybe this could have been on the standard edition. There's nothing on the standard edition that really talks about this specific event in his life that inspired him to make this record. I think that would be beneficial. I love you, I will not stop saying that. Oh, not wanting to take them for granted when you know how easily you can lose them now. What would I do if you don't guide the way home? You're the only one that knows how to operate my heavy machinery. That Panic album was not very good, but there were moments. In a blink, it could all change. I feel like he had a very similar line in the last song. Tomorrow's not promised, but today is ours. It's a good hook, but it's generic. Perspective's a bitch. He cusses again. Maybe he wanted the standard edition to be like PG or whatever. Not an explicit warning, parental, whatever. Never again complain about the smallest things, we won't let them in. It's not a bitch, it just puts things in perspective. You should be grateful and, you know, mindful to not complain about the smallest things. So the bridge talks about this maybe being a period of uncertainty before they knew she could beat the cancer. I want to see the sun rise and set, count the stars, today is ours. So he just wants like one more sunrise and sunset with her at least, because what if right now is all that we get? The end and the start. So the end of how they were living their life previously, but the start of no longer taking anything for granted. I wish I could hear it. Toughest was really good and really catchy. I wonder if this one's better even. I love the chords, first of all. This is the last song I'm writing about you. Up to now, I never tried to. First and last. You don't feel any kind of pain like I do? Damn, stick that knife in and freaking twist it, man. Call them insensitive. This one's bitter. I never want to hear your name again. Go back to how it was before you came. Start moving on. This falsetto is like nuts. It reminds me a little bit of Get Over It, but not as gentle. It's like the opposite. Like he is very willing and ready to go back to being strangers in this one. Probably about different relationships. Out of my life where you belong. Pretty generic lyrics. Well, it's a bonus track. You take a smile, you turn it to dust. Dust, like the Dusty song. You take it, what's golden, and somehow make rust. Oh my god, he's like cooking this person. You took my joy away. All the memories mean nothing from today. It's like a draining person. Okay, so there's a Boat reprise, but I can't find that one either, and I can't even find lyrics, but I'm assuming it's like the same as the first track on the album, Boats, but just like scaled back or something. I'm not sure. Maybe it's just like the instrumental part. I don't know. People do those in different ways. I liked Toughest. I like The Hills of Aberfeldy. I think there were some others, but I just can't remember because it all really, really blends together. I feel a little bit similarly to how I did when I listened to Folklore and Evermore, particularly Folklore because it's very, very sonically cohesive like this one is and just kind of starts to blend together and each song sounds a little bit the same. On the first listen, I think I need to sit with this one. I still think I like Divide more. I mean, he's got his eyebrows plucked and his asshole bleached. Like, sits in my mind so rent-free. The dynamics of that album, not just musically and like volume wise, but just he was going all over the place and it was like I was living for it, you know? Like I loved how intense it was and how specific he was with every single situation he was writing about, like Castle on the Hill, such a coming of age song. It's like almost a classic by this point and it's not even that old. I remember listening to it at the end of my senior year and just being like, oh shit, I'm gonna feel like this in however many years. Like all of these moments will just be memories. Like there's nothing quite like that final year of like high school or college. And yeah, I'm feeling it now. Now I'm feeling like emotional because now I'm 24. He's already on his second wife. He wrote that at what, like his late 20s, I guess? I'm only 24. I know know multiple people who had multiple divorces because I live in the South, but it's so weird because like at one point when I first heard that, it wasn't anything like that. I loved Galway Girl. I loved just everything on that album. I even like the singles. I don't mind Shape of You. It's kind of turned into a meme now, but yeah, that one was very dynamic. This, I guess, is kind of going back more to his roots, his very singer-songwriter beginnings, and I loved a lot of his early singer-songwriter stuff. I've never listened to one of those albums all the way through either, so I just know only like my favorite songs. This one does feel like it's missing a little bit more thought into the lyrics. Like people are like, oh, he's a singer-songwriter first and foremost, so that really fits like with this album, and I agree with that. Like I think he's really shining as far as with this genre, this folky style, this like just him and his guitar and like minimal production, because I think he does have very interesting things to say, but it's just not as much on this record. I do like his consistency with the nature references, especially the water. I live for that stuff, but nothing just really grabbed my attention. I think I may need to re-listen because, you know, I kind of said that about Lana's latest album a few weeks ago when I reacted to it. I was like, I don't have that many thoughts, but yeah, I re-listened and there's so many cool tracks on that one, so I might feel the same about this one. I would love to hear all of your thoughts on this album down below. Do you think it lives up to the hype of being his best album? I don't feel like I should say Divide is his best album because I haven't listened to all of them, but it has been my favorite of what I've heard, unless this one grows on me, so maybe I'm undecided. I'd love to hear all of your favorite tracks. Which song is your absolute favorite? I'm not even sure which ones are singles. I'll have to watch the music videos at some point soon. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up. If you want to follow me on my Instagram, it is right here, and if you want to follow me on my TikTok, that is right here. I will see you all next week for another Lana Del Rey reaction that I've been putting off for a while because things were getting crazy, but for sure I will be reacting to Lana Del Rey's debut album slash EP, I think, in my next video next week, so stay tuned for that, and I hope you have an amazing day. Bye everyone.
I know that we would run away to an island in the sun where the palm